have never been someone who was particularly excited about pregnancy. And I used to say, I'm ready for motherhood if someone would just hand me a baby. I'm just not sure I'm ready for the actual pregnancy part of it and the childbirth part of it. I've yet to do the childbirth element, but now that I'm 5 months pregnant, I am here to talk to anyone else who's a little bit nervous about pregnancy and give you a brutally honest review of what it's like being pregnant. Let me begin by saying two things. First of all, my experience is obviously not everyone else's experience. I've actually had a relatively easy pregnancy in the sense that I haven't had I haven't had any nausea. I haven't thrown up. So what is my experience is obviously not everyone else's experience. And what I would also add is that I'm going to be leaving out the magic of creating life. I'm just talking about my experience of being a woman that is pregnant and what has been good, bad, and ugly about it. Starting with the good. Hands down, the best thing about being pregnant. Actually, there's two things, maybe tied for first place. The first is that you obviously don't get a period, which is so good. I can't believe that men live their lives like this. Like, men just go about their day for their whole life, never having a period. It is so nice. And I can report back as someone who has suffered through periods throughout my life. It is so nice to have an extended period of time where I'm not constantly having to think about my time of the month. Do I have tampons? Do I have pads? It's so nice to not have to worry about that. And all I'm gonna say is that we knew men had it easy, and I can now confirm that they definitely have it easy on the period front. The next thing that has been amazing has been that my skin has gotten so much better. I've always kind of struggled is the wrong word because my skin hasn't been that bad, but it's never been good. And it could be a variety of things that have caused this to happen, but it all stems from pregnancy. So a few changes I made. For one, I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm sure that has helped my skin. For two, I've cut back on things like exfoliation and retinol just to kind of give my skin a little bit of chance to like hydrate and breathe. And then finally, there's just pregnancy hormones. You can see my skin now is just looking not perfect, but definitely better. The last thing that has been really, really lovely about being pregnant is just seeing everyone's excitement around you for it. It's so wonderful that my love with my husband has created this life and everyone around us is celebrating that. It's just really, really nice. Moving on to the bad. I'm gonna be real with you. I've always been a very good sleeper until I got pregnant. Especially the last few weeks. I'm 21 weeks pregnant now. The last few weeks, I've been waking up at like 2 or 3 in the morning, can't go back to sleep. And sometimes it's because I'm feeling the baby kicking. And other times it's for no reason at all. It's just that I'm awake. And there's no reason for me to be awake other than just my body waking up. I don't know if this is true, but I've heard it's because it's your body is preparing you for life with a baby where you're gonna wake up multiple times a night. No idea if that's accurate, but I'm definitely having pregnancy insomnia and it is not enjoyable at all. Another thing that I would say has been bad has been more in the first trimester. While I didn't have nausea, I definitely had like a bad taste in my mouth, and I definitely had certain foods that when I think about them, they make me feel a bit like, I'm not sure about that. And that was kind of annoying. I did have moments where I felt like I had, and again, this was in my first trimester. While I didn't feel nauseous per se, I felt like there was a window of hunger that if I was too hungry, I would not feel very well. And if I was over full, I would also not feel very well. So I had to stick within like a barometer of hunger. It wasn't nausea per se that I would feel because by eating it would be resolved like that. It was just not feeling 100%. I guess that's the best way of putting it. It felt kind of like the beginning of seasickness. And now that I'm describing this, I'm like, maybe that is nausea. But it was so mild, still unenjoyable. The third thing that I would say has been bad is that my clothes are no longer fitting. And I'm not saying that from the perspective of complaining about getting bigger. I'm saying that more from the perspective of annoyance. It is annoying that I've hit the 5 months of pregnancy mark and I just don't have anything to wear. And so it's like, even now I'm wearing pregnancy pants and this shirt, but you can see the pregnancy pants on the bottom because the shirt's too small. So I'm now having to go through a process of buying maternity clothes for myself. And then I'm on the fence because I'm like, I'm gonna buy these maternity clothes, use them for 4 months, and then maybe use them again if I get pregnant again. And then I tell myself, it's okay, just wait a little bit longer. It's only 4 months. And then I think to myself, but I'm gonna grow a lot in 4 months. If I don't fit now into my clothes, I'm not gonna fit in 4 months' time. So it's a dilemma. I feel like I know nothing about like, do pregnant women buy new underwear? Because honestly, I feel like I need new underwear. I feel like I need new bras. I feel like I need new underwear. I need new shorts, new pants, new shirts, new dresses, and then I don't want to go crazy buying a bunch of clothes that I'm going to use for 4 months. So it's really a dichotomy. If anyone has any advice on this, please let me know, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like fumbling in the dark trying to figure out what is expected to do, when you're pregnant and like if there's any workarounds and things like that. Which brings me on to the ugly. I would say, I can only speak for being a woman that's pregnant in America. I feel such a lack of support, and I think this is one of the ugliest things about pregnancy. And what I mean by that is that, yes, I'm getting support from a medical perspective. I have my monthly checkups with the doctor. That's all ticking along, but I have no idea. Should I be doing classes? Should I be doing parenting classes? Should I be doing pregnancy classes? Should I be joining groups and communities? Like, I have no idea, and no one's telling me. And the frustrating part is also that all of my friends who have kids had these at home, I don't know if I can say this on TikTok, but natural births, push births, if you will, at home, no painkillers, and I'm gonna be having a C-section. None of my friends have had a C-section, so no one can advise me. Like, I just feel like I'm not getting any information, and I'm so worried that the day's gonna come where they're gonna hand me my baby, and I'm gonna be like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That's what parents are for, right? It's what grandparents are for. The next thing that's been ugly is that I've been extremely sensitive and emotional. I'm not someone who tends to cry often, but I did end up sobbing to my husband last week. And it's beautiful, but it's less beautiful when it's like in a negative way. And that's what I think it becomes kind of ugly, for me at least. The last thing that I would say is ugly, coming back to the support thing, is I feel like there's a lot of scaremongering and judgment that comes along with being pregnant. I had an OB that I liked who was quite far away from me, so I thought, let me try and find a different OB that's closer. I found one that's closer, and he was telling me basically that if I jog while pregnant, I could cause brain damage in my baby. That's I think such a dangerous thing to tell people. And when I went home and I was like, how do I not know about this? If this is a thing, surely every pregnant woman should know to not run or not jog. I mean, I'm not gonna do a marathon, of course, but like to go for like a 10-minute jog. And it just felt like scaremongering to me. I'm sure I've missed things off, but this is just the first things that come to mind if I were talking to anyone about pregnancy. I would love to hear, if you're pregnant, what are your good, bad, and uglies? Do you relate to anything that I've shared? Am I alone? Maybe this is all just me. But let me know if you have any questions, and I'd love to hear your thoughts too.